Watching this was an entirely Connecticut-made production, hence the homegrown horror film. So we have a few people here in the audience. I'm going to bring them up. So first, my wife, Amy Halamakov. She was one of the producers as well as played Red. Then we got Frank Wibby, come on up. Frank Wibby, who played Frank. We're gonna get Nick over here. So Nick had a very important job. He had two important jobs. One, he was the assistant director, and two, he was the fog wrangler. All right, so all the fog throughout this movie, you can thank him for, because that was a lot of work. And then last but not least, Mr. Joey Ambrosini. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna open it up right to you guys because I could talk for a while. But if there's any questions, why don't you guys kick them off, and then you have questions for them, me, anybody? We got one right here. Go ahead. What's that? He asked if you could buy a DVD. It will be coming out on Blu-ray and UHD through Vinegar Syndrome very soon. I can't say the date because we haven't announced it yet, but it will be soon. So pay attention to Vinegar Syndrome's website. It'll be out soon. There was another question? Yeah. Great question. We shot completely silent because it was on film and the film camera was a little louder. Everything was shot silently. So everything that you heard, every sound effect was laid in after the fact, and all of them, all the actors, they all had to redub their entire performances. So, yeah, so she runs a recording studio, Factory Underground, here in Connecticut, and we did all of that there. For the special effects, a lot of them were made. So, yeah. So like the skeletons and all that, I built all of those. Some of the gore stuff, like the arm and all of that. Then some of it was other props that we like purchased and I doctored up. And then like the throat at the beginning, Madison, who played Brooklyn, she did that effect. Amy helped with some effects. It was all just kind of a joint effort. Thank you. What was the funnest scene to shoot? Ooh, you know what? I'm going to give that question to each of them. How's that?
So I got to puppeteer a lot of the skeletons, which really, honestly, anytime I got to puppeteer a skeleton was the most fun for me. But I had a really lot of fun slapping Kai in the face with the skeleton in the mausoleum. So that was one of my favorites.
It's a good question. I really like shooting the skeletons in the face. I love that. That was beautiful.
I would have to say Kai's death when the skeleton eats his intestines. Yeah, he pulls it all the way through. I pulled those intestines all the way through. So you're welcome.
For me, I really loved doing my own stunts in this film. That was my favorite experience. I made some question to that. But probably my favorite scene was definitely either Kai or Nico's death when he rips the face off. I even remember being there for that, and that was gruesome. It was gruesome.
Good question. Thank you. Who else? Well, we'll go with you first. Hope soon. Well, so that's the thing. So one, I put it there for a little fun because a lot of movies back in the day would kind of end like that, a little teaser. But also me trying to ensure that I get a sequel made. So if you do like it, buy this one when it comes out through Vinegar Syndrome because, that's because we're a home video company. That's generally where we make our money and all that. So if it does well on home video, hopefully there'll be a second one. There's a second one already written. So all they have to do is say yes, and we'll be on our way. So, you got another question? Yep, so Vinegar Syndrome is out of Bridgeport initially, but now we have a new building in Meriden. So some of the scenes here were at the new building in Meriden, and the woods outside was behind the new building in Meriden. So mostly in Meriden, and then we also shot at the Factory Underground, the recording studio that she works for, which is in Norwalk, Connecticut. And then Frank works at a mechanic shop in a used car place called Ernie's in Waterbury, where we shot the mechanic stuff. So. Yeah, and the mausoleum, the inside of the mausoleum was a set that was at our old building in Bridgeport. So, yeah, those were the 4 areas in Connecticut.
How long did it take to make the film?
So we were working on this while I was working full-time at Vinegar Syndrome. So we started shooting in 2024, the first weekend of October, and we shot right up until Thanksgiving. So it was about 8 weeks total, but we were all working full-time. I was working full-time at Vinegar Syndrome, and we would get out of work, shoot probably like 6 hours at night, then go home, get a few hours of sleep, come back and do it again. So we did like a couple of nights each week and then all on the weekends. And so we kind of spaced it out, but it was a lot to do. In 8 weeks sounds like a long time, but not on that schedule. So, yeah. If we had shot straight through, it probably would have been about 2 weeks. We have a question over here? What inspired the creation of this? Vinegar Syndrome has a line of films that we've put out called Homegrown Horrors, and they're generally like low-budget films that were shot in the 80s, that were regionally shot and made with local crews and all that. So basically, I was inspired to do what I called a new homegrown horror film, which is why it says that at the beginning of the credits. And that's kind of how I pitched it to Vinegar Syndrome. I was like, hey, listen, what if we started doing new homegrown horror films? Aside from that, I mean, movies like Tombs of the Blind Dead and a little bit of Army of Darkness in there with the skeletons, all that kind of stuff. But a lot of the stuff from Vinegar Syndrome, because that's what I spend all my time working on all day, every day. So, good question. Thank you. Ooh, we got a new one here. I'll go. %. So, like, because we were shooting on film, we wanted to kind of give it a bit of an 80s kind of vibe. I mean, slasher films were big in the 80s, and so I didn't want to do just a straight slasher movie with a guy in a mask. As much as I love those, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to do basically a creature feature, but trying to figure out how to do creatures on a budget is tricky. So I was kind of inspired by Tombs of the Blind Dead and stuff like that, and I was like, hey, well, hold on, I'm going to tell this story first before I finish this answer. Because my wife, my lovely, beautiful wife here, came up with the name Vamp-Friar, okay? So, you can thank her for this. So she came up with the title, she wanted to make a movie called The Vamp-Friar, and she kept pitching this to me, and I kept saying no. And then, when I was trying to actively pitch something to Vinegar Syndrome, I was trying to think of something, and so I was basically doing what I was explaining to you. I was trying to break it down. I'm like, okay, what can I do on a budget? You know, what would they say yes to? And I was like, okay, I want to do a slasher movie, but maybe not, maybe a creature feature. And I started kind of working backwards. And I came up with the idea of okay, well, I can get a bunch of kids into a cemetery, we can raise the dead, but I didn't want to do just a zombie movie. And so this idea of them skeletons coming out of the ground, I was like, oh cool, we haven't seen that in a while. We can puppeteer them, that'll be fun, but we've got to hide everything, so we've got to put clothes on them. I was like, what kind of clothes would they be wearing coming out of the ground? And then I was like, well, we can put them in hoods and robes. I was like, oh, that'll be cool. And I was like, oh, god damn it. I was like, if I make them vampires, they're literally Vamp-Friars. So I called her, I was at the gym at the time when I came up with that. I called her and was like, all right, you win. Instead of the Vamp-Friar, we're doing the Vamp-Friars, and that's how that came about. I'm gonna go all the way back there real quick and then to you.
How did that kind of vampire get his eye patch?
Ah, good question. There might be some lore coming down the road. We'll see. I left a little, so I'll be 100% honest. I wanted you to make sure, how do you tell which one's a skeleton, and how do I make the real version of him and make sure you know it's the same person? I had to come up with something, and I was like, well, we'll give him an eye patch. But I didn't want to just give him an eye patch. So I do have something in my brain, but I'm gonna keep that in here for now, and maybe there'll be something down the road that explains that. So, Ken, you want to ask a question?
No.
What's that? Oh, 5 minutes. Oh, I was like,
That's
what?
why he's a producer and you're not.
All right, what's it? Are there what? Hopefully there will be at some point. Yeah, we have them. Yeah, she's wearing one. Yeah, hopefully that will. Oh, and by the way, Larry Dwyer wrote and recorded that song for the Neck Wounds, so you can thank him for that. So, and he's also the one who shouts "You suck," which is funny because it's him singing it. So. No, there were auditions done. So we wanted to shoot Connecticut local, like I explained. Joey is obviously a Connecticut local actor. He's been in a bunch of movies. Amy works for the Factory Underground, like I said, and they partner with a place called the Norwalk Conservatory, which is an acting school here in Connecticut. So almost all of the other kids were part of the acting school. So they were here in Connecticut at the time, but now that school is out of session, they're in their respective homes. But Frank is a local actor as well. So I try to get local all the way through. So yeah, and then I think the guy who played Stoney, he's not an actor at all. He's in a band called Similar Kind. He's actually a drummer, and that is basically just him. So when you're trying to cast for like the 80s stoner type character, you're like, and some people could overdo it, but when he came in, he was just like, nailed it, and that's just him being him, so, yeah.
I literally looked at Miles when I first saw him, and when I said that, when I wrote the script, when I saw the script, I was like, I went up to him, I was like, I'm picturing this guy who's like this hippie looking dude, wears these like baggy outfits, this bandana with a goofy look on his face, and I looked at him, I'm like saying, yeah, you're that guy. Yeah, you're literally in my imagination, like constantly. So.
Yeah. All right. One more.
You didn't kill me. Oh, okay, so originally I wasn't supposed to play Red. So that's a fun fact. The actor, it was a little bit of a Wizard of Oz switcheroo, where the original actor that was supposed to play Red wound up playing the Gravedigger because he wasn't able to make the shooting schedule that we had. And I was like, red hair, female mechanic would be cool. So I wound up, that's how I wound up playing Red. So I don't know if I answered your question at all, but I was very happy to do anything for the cause for the movie, so. One more, Ken?
Yeah, you got time for one more.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
So first question. If you could, after the movie, would you swear and curse at Warren for bringing the dead to life?
Yes.
I mean, I swore and cursed at him on set, just period. No, actually we all had a good time on set, so. But yeah, no, I mean, technically it is all his fault. He brought him there. It is all him.
I kind of realized that when I saw the film. I was like, oh.
But you also get to be the hero too, so that's good.
I made up.
I hope somebody will make collectible of these characters. They're such great characters. Some of them are bad characters, some of them are nice.
Well, thank you. Yeah, there will be some merch, but hopefully as time goes on, more things will come out. So again, pay attention to vinegarsyndrome.com. When it gets released, there will be some merch, but hopefully there will be more over time. I think we are just about out of time. So a round of applause for all these people.
Thank you, Curtis.
And thank you again, everybody, for coming out. We really appreciate it. Thank you.